So, welcome to Cappadocia, Turkey. And in this video, I'm going to take you inside my very own authentic fairy chimney cave hotel room. And I'm going to tell you all about it. I mean, wow, what an opportunity I had to stay here. So check this out. And also, I'm going to take you all around the GoReMe Open Air Museum. I'm going to give you my real opinion, what I think about the GoReMe Air Museum. You know, staying inside a cave where people used to live 1,200 years ago is a major bucket list adventure. You should do this. It's amazing what I've discovered over here in Cappadocia. So this video will definitely inspire you to get yourself to Cappadocia, stay in a fairy chimney cave hotel, take a hot air balloon ride, and explore these ancient fairy chimney caves. Well, good morning from Cappadocia, and this is my actual fairy chimney cave hotel, and this is every single morning in Cappadocia. Every single morning, unless the weather is windy. But welcome to Mornings in Cappadocia, directly from my authentic fairy chimney cave hotel. I mean, I'm staying in a room more than 2,000 years old. I mean, I'm just in awe. So these cave rooms are actual authentic ancient dwellings dating back to the 8th century. They believe that these were built in the 8th century, making them at least 1,200 years old. So anyway, it's just amazing. But obviously they're also upgraded and, you know, more comfortable now. But, you know, this cave was carved out, you know, 1,200 years ago or more. So I felt a major attitude of gratitude to even have the opportunity to stay in such a dwelling. I just was blown away by it. It was also really comfortable, and I felt it was extremely inexpensive for the whole package. I mean, it came with a full breakfast that I'll show you in a minute. It was so incredibly tasty that I just couldn't get over it. So this is my actual room, and you can actually see that it's very comfortable. And then actually above this room was a second floor, which is like a lounge area. And I'll take you up there in a minute. But, you know, it had every creature comfort you could imagine. There was nothing about this that was not a comfortable stay. And yet it was a room that was carved in this rock more than 1,200 years ago. So, I mean, you can tell I'm enthusiastic about this. You can tell I really enjoyed it. And I did. And I loved the people here. I loved the location. They call it the Panoramic Cave Hotel for a reason. It had a panoramic view of the balloons every single morning. I could not have been happier. I can't wait to get back here and do this all over again. So above my room was a second floor lounge area that actually everyone at the resort could actually come up here and just hang out and lounge. I could not hear a thing up here, so, but yeah, you can just come up here and hang out if you want. I never actually did that, but I did come up here and check it out, and that's what I'm showing you right now. But, you know, the only mistake I made about this whole place was not staying longer. I only stayed here 3 nights. I gotta be honest with you, I loved Cappadocia so much, I should have stayed here a full week. So if I were to do it over again, I would stay here a full week, and I would cut into my time in Istanbul because I loved Cappadocia. So I did put a Google link into the description of all the amazing places we're going to visit in this video. So the main purpose of this video was to give you an inside peek at my amazing fairy chimney cave hotel. But in a minute, I'm going to take you over to the most famous open air museum in Cappadocia, the GoReMe Open Air Museum. And so hang out with me, and I'm going to take you through there. And I'm going to give you my real opinion on that as well. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. It would really make me very happy if you give this video a like and subscribe so you can go on another adventure with me. I mean, yeah. So I did another video on the Zelve Open Air Museum, which I actually liked better than the GoReMe Open Air Museum. Much better, actually. So you should definitely check out that video. It also has more of an itinerary focus. So this video is an excellent video to get a peek at GoReMe Open Air Museum. But I'm going to tell you right now, you would be missing out if you didn't check out Zelve Open Air Museum again, which I preferred. I really liked it a lot. And if you want to learn where and how to discover some fairy caves, some fairy chimneys that are remote, lost, and forgotten, check out this video. I promise you, you won't regret visiting these two videos and enjoying them if you love or you want to know more about Cappadocia. So if you really want to maintain your independence and you don't want to be hostage to a taxi or a tour group, rent a car. Renting a car here is really easy. Well, welcome to the GoReMe Open Air Museum, and this is what you see when you first arrive. This is the bus parking lot. And by the way, this is the most popular open air museum. This is where everyone who visits Cappadocia goes. And that's a good and a bad thing. So the bad thing is that this place had lines, there were buses, there were lots of annoying type tourists here. But you gotta kind of go here because this is where the famous church, a couple of the churches here are very famous. They still have original paintings and frescoes. So you gotta kind of go there to see that. But I gotta be honest with you, this was my least favorite one, the GoReMe Open Air Museum. You gotta check out my other video on Zelve. Zelve was significantly better. There was no one there, and in my opinion, it was a much better experience. But you know, maybe you're like me and you want to avoid the tourists and the buses and all of that. Well, at GoReMe, you're going to get that. So if you want to avoid it, you should get here early in the morning and then, you know, explore this place and then get out of here and then get over to Zelve. And you'll thank me for that, by the way. That's the best advice you're going to get in this video. And by the way, in no way do I want to discourage you from visiting GoReMe Open Air Museum. In fact, you need to visit this place. But I had a better, more uncrowded experience at Zelve. So what I'm trying to say is not only visit GoReMe Open Air Museum, but definitely visit Zelve Open Air Museum. It's a more uncrowded spiritual experience, and when you see my other video, you'll understand the difference. So yeah, GoReMe was amazing. I would try to visit it without all the buses and the people, and that means earlier in the morning would be best. I'll be honest with you, it makes me a little sad too when you come across a 1,500, 2,000-year-old church and you see all of the frescoes completely destroyed because they wanted to remove the faces of Jesus and Mary and all of that. Even though I'm not like a devout Christian or Catholic or any of that, it makes me sad to see that, you know, people would do that. So when you actually walk inside these caves, you can't help but to get this real feeling and sense of awe as you realize that these things were carved by hand more than 1,000 to 2,000 years ago. It's just an awesome experience. So the GoReMe Open Air Museum is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You know, it's really famous for Well, it's most famous for the rock-cut churches, and the frescoes in some of the churches are extremely well preserved. There are a few frescoes, or more than a few, that are, sabotaged and destroyed, but in some of the churches, the frescoes are quite vivid. And probably the reason why the Göreme Open Air Museum gets a lot more attention than Zelve or some of the others is that it's less than 2 kilometers from the main town in Cappadocia, which is Göreme, which is probably where you're going to stay. So it's really easy and close to get there. And that makes it easy, but it also makes it, popular. So this is the most interesting thing that I've learned on this trip to Turkey. You can pay money and you can hire a tour guide and you can wait in long lines at all the tourist trap type places that are all cutied up and prettied up for tourists. Or you can just get into a car and stop alongside the road and get a real view into some ancient fairy tale looking places like this. So as we conclude this video, the best advice I can give you if you're coming to Cappadocia, rent a car and get off the beaten path. Go find your own remote fairy chimney caves that are just by the side of the road. I've got a video that'll teach you how to do that. And be sure to hit Zelve Open Air Museum. And you also need a car for that as well, unless you hire a tour guide that takes you there. But don't be afraid to rent a car and go do it independently. We've got so many other adventures to do together, so hang out with me for a while. So once again, I really appreciate you hanging out with me today. But if this video has inspired your adventure to Cappadocia, I hope you give it a like and subscribe so you can check out my other Cappadocia adventures. But thanks so much.